chat. Actually, you guys are new? Yeah. Oh, nice. All right. Nice. Okay, welcome. Sorry, get to bully. Get to bully joke. So we are a creative coding group where like we have a bunch of people who are interested in making art with code. And it was Rasagya, Mathura, and Karthik who were taking connecting these meetups. And now it is us. We're trying to and barely making these meetings. And it's been a while, but yeah, we are restarting and we're restarting strong. We have three speakers today. Two of them are from NID, and they have done an interactive project, and they want to showcase which they want to showcase. And we have beatnyk as well. So we can go to the talking. You can see the projects, and once we are done with the projects, we'll have a discussion or a coding session together. Yeah, cool. Sangeeta, take it away.
Yes, so let's get started. I'm going to share my screen.
Yeah.
We'll get started. So, myself, Sangeeta Veeramani. I am an architect. I practiced for 4 years, and later on, I joined NID to learn interaction design. So, digital fabrication was part of our module. Uh, it was basically introduced to us to learn it as a tool to see how interaction design can, show experiences to users in various ways. So our faculties were Praveen Kumar and Alvin. So these faculties I'm trying to like I feel that we should talk about them because they really helped us get out of our comfort zone. And although we were from different fields of work, they made sure that we knew everything, we understood everything, and really brought the best out of us. So I'll start with my project. So basically, the structure was that we had to use one sensor, one actuator, and one microcontroller. For this case, we used Arduino Uno, and they also gave us some idea about Arduino IDE, the software. So we started to understand the basics of electrical circuits and everything from basics we understood, and we also learned to try some bulb, like circuits on Tinkercad, and that's how we got some confidence to work on the microcontrollers. So we had to use all of these and create a interactive experience for the users. So this was basically the idea that I came up. The course was for 2 weeks. It was for 2 weeks. The first week was mainly about understanding how things work, and the second week was about generating ideas and making your ideas come. I'm going to talk about cymatics. So this is, as we know, creating patterns on water or sand. So I once I had gone to science lab.
Sangeeta, are you sharing your screen?
Yes,
We can't see
you
your
can't see my screen. Okay, let me try again.
Does she need any lights? Oh, yeah.
Are
Now
you
we
able
can.
to see it now?
Yeah, now we can see.
So you skipped these parts. So yeah, so these are my faculties, Praveen Kumar and Alvin, and I spoke about the sensors, actuators, and microcontrollers, and then we had to create a interactive experience. So this was the idea that I came up with, that using cymatic patterns and basically having the power to create your own cymatic patterns. So once I had gone to science gallery where I had seen the cymatic patterns being made on a Chladin plate, if I'm not wrong, Chladni plate, yeah. So they had made use of what do you call it, violin bow to induce vibration onto the plate and make patterns out of it. But I wanted to use water to because I like the play of water, because play of light and the patterns that it was creating. Yeah. So moving on, like I had no idea how would I go about it. Everything was on like a hypothesis basis. So I thought that how can I use touch to create these patterns and sound. So touch sensors were the sensors that I would be using, and actuators would be out of speakers, water, and patterns that it creates, probably by touch. So then I went on about trying it actually if it works on a speaker. So I issued these speakers from college and tried it using a small plate and connected it with sound, and it was working. Like uh, like this was a trial round. So I wanted to have something on a bigger scale. So this speaker here had a subwoofer under it. This had around 8 centimeter diameter, and I thought that I can have a bigger plate on top of it and make the sound, make the whole thing like a bigger experience, not in such a small scale. So then I thought of uh, using a stainless steel plate which I can mount on top of the speaker. So the problem was that these speakers had these buffers at the bottom, which usually furnitures have. Uh, for the sound to be creating some patterns on the water, it had to be directly connected to the speaker. So what I did was used a aluminium tube sort of a thing, which is actually a wire manager, which you'll see on the tables of an ID. It was just discarded. So I used that on top of the speaker. Then I had to mount this plate on the speaker on a permanent way, so that because of vibrations, it doesn't slip off and fall down. So what I did was with the help of our workshop person Sridhar, we made this sort of a setup where we used small bamboo studs, which we inserted inside these gaps of buffers, and then screwed it onto the bamboo piece, which was basically just holding onto the buffers. So this is how the nail was looking after I applied seal on it, because water is going to be there. That was my setup. So then I moved on to seeing how can I actually work with touch sensor. So that was in place. That was not a difficult task. Then I had to see how I can connect the touch sensor to the music. So initially, our prof recommended that we use a MP3 player, SD card, and try to see it with a small speaker first. And relay switch, we were talking about it because there might be some problem with big speakers and some power related issue which can hamper the speaker. So I tried that first, but it was a huge fail. It went on for a day. I was working on it, and it just didn't work out. And each day mattered because it was just like I had to finish this in a week, and I had no idea about anything. Everything was on a basic level, but somehow I went on to another solution, which was using Python code. So this is the Arduino code that was for the touch. Then I moved on for the Python thing. So what our prof suggested was to use serial communication between Python and Arduino. So this was also a very strange concept for me, but ChatGPT also really helped me for the codes, and so I tried to do it as much as I can by myself and with ChatGPT. But there was this one time when the sound was just not coming through. But thanks to Alvin, he came off, and he installed something called Pi Game. I was trying by Pi Sound, which was not helping. So, but everything, like, then later on things worked out. I was able to create sound out of sensors. I had used 4 sensors, and I have muted the site right now, but there was actually sound getting created from my touch. So now the idea was to install everything and make it look good. There was this situation with me again that my laptop was not supporting my Arduino, so I had to make use my for like studio's this desktop itself. So the studio's desktop was quite huge, and I had to figure out a way in which I can arrange everything and make it look good too. So there is this small room in IXG Studio. I'm not sure if people are aware. So it's not of any use. It's just discarded. So I thought that I'll keep my table with the speaker set up inside this room, and the desktop would be here, and basically got everything shifted and wanted a source of light as well here, but that was a little difficult. But somehow things got managed and I was able to set it up here. I used a ring light for the sort of effect that I wanted to create, and I will show you the. So what happened is that this whole installation was very far away from the whole exhibition that was happening downstairs. So the classes divided it in like two levels. The first level is where everyone was exhibiting, and I was exhibiting here. Then I was asked to take the whole setup downstairs. So somehow I took everything and went downstairs and tried to create a space which can be a little dark, have some light so that there is some play of light with the reflections. And this is the poster which I made as a final submission. So when I got to know about how sound can create such patterns and can have some effects to surrounding, I digged a little bit deeper onto how sound can actually have effects on human beings because we are also 70% water, and got to know that sound can be used in various things like sound therapy or healing, and also museum setups, and like I like that part as well. And then I'll just show you the final video. Let me just can you hear this? Were you able to hear this?
Uh, I think play. Yeah, just play it. I think it is audible.
Okay, let me try.
Oh, yeah, the water sound. Is it a noise sound or?
Yeah, it was initial was a nice noise sound.
Yeah, then we can hear it. Yeah.
Okay, I'll start.
Oh, no, no, I think they don't know that the sound
I
is.
think that's just the background noise.
Oh
No,
yeah.
that was the part of the video.
Yeah.
The sound is just, I think, the sound of water.
Now it is a sound of water. Yes.
Yeah.
And now we are not hearing any sound.
You're not able to hear the sound.
No, no.
Oh, right. I'll try to share the screen again.
Do you want to send the link? I can share and we can put the video.
Yeah, yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, send the link in the chat, please.
Hmm. I have sent the link.
Okay, please mute yourself. There's some disturbance.
Yeah.
Maybe not here.
Yeah, this is not working. Mm.
Does this not have
Should I
a-
try again?
Share.
Oh,
Stop sharing on the top. Yeah.
No, we can't.
The film you're about to see has no characters. Everything owes its existence solely and completely to sound.
You're on mute.
Yeah, that's all from my end.
Nice. Wait. Sangeeta, was that just water or some kind of a non-Newtonian liquid?
No, it's just water. I just added some sparkles in it, some glitters, but yeah, it's just water.
Try non-Newtonian liquid. Some cornstarch should make it. Yeah. No, I think I've seen it somewhere. I think they've used this. I've seen something like this before.
Are you talking about that metallic?
Yeah.
Metallic thing? But I don't think that sound. I think they just.
It's free.
I've seen sand and.
Sand and physics. Yeah.
Sand was there in the science gallery also.
Is there any way to record these patterns?
Have an overhead camera.
That's it. Like, and they'll get pixel. Like I want.
Yeah, like what kind of patterns are generated? Based
Yeah.
on what?
It varies with the type of sound, I think, the hertz of the sound.
Usually, like I'm just thinking of but usually when we do a waveform of a sound, it's in 2 dimension, right?
Is it only shows an amplitude?
Yeah.
That's
So,
an amplitude.
but this is
That's
different,
right.
right?
So basically, this is just going back to say eighth grade physics. Sound is like a longitudinal wave, which is essentially pressure.
Hmm.
So you have patterns of high pressure and low pressure, depending on how you're speaking or whatever sound is getting produced. So, and the sound that is being produced is basically, it's not linear, it's something that's random, which is how you're getting a 2D kind of a structure of the image.
Yeah. Like, because we don't
looking at the waveform, you know, audio analysis kind of thing, it's just amplitude versus
amplitude. Nice. Cool. Any of you have any questions for Sangeeta?
So just might be random, but on the scale where you're showing sensors and actuators. The actuators I think you've shown one piezo, one speaker, and I didn't quite catch what the third thing was.
Sorry, can you come again?
The screen, you had one slide where you were showing sensors and actuators.
Yeah. Speak. No?
Okay. You had a slide where you were showing sensors and actuators. In sensors, you had touch sensor. And in actuators, you had one piezo, you had a speaker, and you had like something else which I wasn't able to recognize.
One second. Unmute.
Yeah.
Unmute.
Yeah, that was just me trying to show patterns as also as a form of actuators. So those were just like patterns. How can I show patterns on water?
Oh yeah, there were plates that were vibrating with sand on it. And there was different frequencies and it made
have
different
like those
patterns.
nice symmetric.
Yeah.
Those are called the Chladni plate.
What's it called?
Chladni plate. CHLADNI.
Okay.
Is there like an online visualizing tool for it? There must be, right?
Like you change the sound and you should see like.
The Windows Media Player has a
Yeah. But you know, even in P5, if we're getting P5, we'll
Beatnyk has a question.
sound amplitude. So we only have one dimensional like input that we can work with from any music. So if we can get some kind of 2D visual or like input, like a grid input.
The sensor through which you, example, when you do antenna design, right? If you design an antenna, that is catching things, you know, 2D or often even 3D kind of a structure. So you can think of it as different sensor points, and instead of just in a normal microphone, you basically have one point the pressure is getting measured. So instead of that 1 point measurement, you have like a multiple grid point measurement, and thus you get like a 2D idea of what the kind of sound reaching that point is. Sound or whatever wave.
Yeah.
Yeah, in my head, it still would work with a single
Yeah.
one dimension. Like sound is going to be one dimensional, but like you mentioned, it's probably mapped to like. But okay, fun.
Someone needs to create a website that has to play this.
I'm pretty sure it's like. Okay, come on, I should
So,
ask Jack.
Beatnik has a question.
Someone in the group. Let's do it.
Hello. Hey, so I have one question. I want to know, like, when you played the sound on the speaker, were you playing any particular songs or were you playing any particular waveforms or different waveforms? Or what were you playing? Because the audio that was on top was like, I think, like a music, just a show. So I'm just curious on what sounds you were playing and that was being visualized.
So for now, I had actually. So what happened is the speaker came with the whole unit, right? The amplifier and the speaker. So I just took off the speakers. I disconnected them. I just used the amplifier with the subwoofer under it, and I had different songs connected to each sensor. So each sensor, if you touch, will give a different sort of vibration and a different sort of pattern. So there were no songs playing as such. There were just vibrations that were being sent by the subwoofer to the plate.
There were four different sounds,
Yeah.
four songs for each sensor.
Yes.
Oh, and like the sensor triggered the song.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm just curious if instead of four different songs, if four different waveforms came in, would the pattern differ, or were there any difference between the four different tracks? Were they all looking the same?
So I tried to choose songs which would create different patterns. There were no, like I didn't look into the waveform as such as of the sound, but I wanted to show some diversity in how various songs can create various waves. And actually, I looked into cymatic sounds. So yeah.
Yes.
Nice. Yeah, I think the TV is the speaker.
Should we not use the TV speaker and use the laptop speaker, or is the laptop speaker also?
Laptop speaker is fine, but it's not loud. Maybe
We can use my speaker.
yeah, we can use that. All right, Sangeeta, if anybody else have any other question? No? Thank you very much, Sangeeta. It is a great project. I think you should keep going at it and find what, I think Tanvi has found an app for the waveforms.
No, but
Is
it's
it?
download and it's a little bigger than you'd expect it to be.
Oh,
No, but the processing
Okay.
tutorial is a thing.
Yeah, that's not,
all right.
yeah, it's quite, it's just like,
It's a great. She ChatGPT her way through this. She can ChatGPT her way through this as well.
All right, nice. Thank you very much. We'll move on to next speaker. That's Hiral. Wait 1 second. Let's just everybody
you can check or
yeah. Yeah, I will disconnect from the. Can you hear me?
just some point to that.
Leaving your audio. Cool. Be able to share.
I'll just tell you. I'll
Okay, so
just
you can leave.
It's the speaker of the TV that I thought you
The second was talking about.
You left it. Yeah, no.
Cool. Can you guys hear us? No?
Move it to.
my audible.
Yes. Yeah. Cool.
I think it's
You can share this.
I'm not able to share this screen.
You're not able to share.
Put it in the chat here.
No, but we have a presentation.
Yeah,
Was it in plugin HTML?
Yeah.
Oh, but it's
No,
not.
it's lagging.
She's on Safari, so Safari doesn't have a share option. Do you have a Zoom app?
they're asking me to do something.
Okay.
Is there a link to your presentation or is it like on your system?
I could send you a link.
Send the link in the chat. Or yeah, actually,
Share.
And the stuff you show, how much you show on the
I got two videos for and maybe because I guess.
Then you realize Safari didn't have a. I think Safari didn't have a.
No, I think she's on a whole map, right? So the Safari.
Maybe with the TV.
yeah.
This one just when you're trying to like fancy stuff, and then the most basic things ever. Most common internet. The most common.
It's very fine. Still can't get people to share stuff.
You send it to CCSanté?
Choose the funny side, there's a lag and people see over here.
Oh, man.
Then both of the things, the alpha is captain on.
You can share. I mean, you can share this and you can show. Is that fine on my laptop?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Wait, present it and then we
I just do the screen. You have sound screen.
Even if you're still connected, I would recommend you turn on your video. Are you able to do it?
turn on my video.
That the people can see you while they hear this song.
The audio is on this. Oh, camera. Okay.
Although it should be weird because they probably don't see Joe.
I'm not there. Cool.
Or actually this because
Yeah, this is fine. Let's go.
So my project involved glove controlled audio reactive visual instruments. So I got a glove which has sensors, which are touch sensors. I used 5 touch sensors, 2 on the index finger and 1 flex sensor on the index finger to control. It's actually a touch designer work where you have audio reactive visuals, which I used. I used a projector and projected it on a wall, so it creates like an immersive experience. So you have audio playing in the background, and you sort of manipulate the visuals with the glove that you're wearing. So I was going to present the work with my laptop.
You can show it, right? No, we
Yeah.
can see.
Do you have a
Oh
way?
yeah.
That's
I
a
could
very
do that.
terrible way to look like a hacker.
So this was just how it works. So I got two sensors.
You
With
can
my
show it
glove.
through your camera also.
The screen.
No, whatever you wanted to show.
Okay, so this is the. Yeah, so I'll give you like a little explainer. So with the flex, you could control the size of the visuals that were playing. So the sphere had the zoom in, zoom out kind of effect, and each of the 5 touch sensors had different behaviors with particles, shape changes, and color shifts. So after that. So the audio wasn't like this. I think there was.
I was curious if this is intentional, like some sensor based audio. Like,
Yeah, was the audio plugged in?
Uh,
Like,
Sorry.
did you, where did you get the audio?
I downloaded the audio, but like you could actually, I had mapped it in Touch Designer, the audio file, so it was interactive in that way. Can I show it to you guys?
Yeah. Is it, no, is my camera visible? Oh, my God.
is your camera on?
Visible?
Yeah. Yeah, but then like you're showing her face.
No, she showed me the present. But her camera is very.
But she will try and show her desktop screen.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
I'll just show it to you guys.
Oh. Then get your camera.
Sorry, people on Zoom.
No, get your.
Actually, we will try.
Yeah.
We shall try our best. I don't know what is being seen. This is my face. Can you stop sharing? You can. Can you stop sharing? So stop sharing. This is on your laptop. So now I can see myself, and I need to switch off.
Yeah, we just switch.
Yeah, but I am. I have a background blur, which might be. Yes. Okay. You're gonna try and do this, right? I will count.
Yeah, so this is like a graph. There's like Arduino Uno, and so this is how audio reactive it is. Just simple stuff.
Yeah. Not completely.
How where do I go?
Sorry. Yeah. So basically, I got like different visual behaviors. You can see it. There.
So every sensor has some.
Yeah.
Encoding.
different sort of visuals are happening with every touch sensors.
Like you had a couple of touch sensors and you had a flex sense, right? Which
Yeah.
one is the flex?
This one on my index finger.
So, like, what does it measure? It measures bends.
Yeah, it measures the bend and then you can like get these kinds of in and out visuals. Yeah. And then it like, sorry. Yeah. So different colors and different rotation and motion of the particles with the size. And,
Flex is like a big stick.
yeah, you can see it. Maybe you can wear it as well.
That you can make hybrid. That is how.
It's like a
Oh. Oh, it's like this. I think you can see. Yeah.
You can see it.
Oh, it's like a strip.
It's a strip.
It's strip, and as you bend it,
Yeah.
does it measure when you bend?
Yeah.
No, but even the resistance, why is the tapping point change?
Tapping.
How will resistance will change if length changes, right?
Yeah.
Or
like,
over the length area.
I'm guessing there's some kind of like extension of the
Why does it change?
by I don't
And you,
know.
not sure about this is very interesting material.
No, this, you want to see the laptop screen? Can you try moving that a little bit? So guys, whoever missed it,
Yeah.
she's gonna do it again.
Okay. So like from mirror effect in this and then like different colors.
You should fill my screen.
It is resistance based. You bend the flex sensor. Oh yeah.
Like the thing that like in and out.
In and out.
Yeah.
When you stretch it, the cross section is reducing. The material is such that when you stretch it,
The cross section is reducing.
because think of it like a cooler's bag, because you're stretching it, it's the same material, it's become.
Also, if I'm turning, it's actually getting.
Alright. Let's continue with the. This is a new sensor.
Yeah, mine is low. Mine is low.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So
You can press this.
yeah, so this is pretty much the what happens. The particles are changing their motions with different touch inputs, and beats are synchronized with the audio. So color and shape is also triggering the visual, like based on the sensor input, it can change. Yeah, it's just a fun audio visual project.
I
just
think you
thought-
can make a lot more
yeah,
with it.
I sort of wanted to go with, since we were asked to make it physical and not like use further AI or ML or use Connect. So like I came up with the idea of a glove. So since it was a projector, it felt immersive and like people were having fun. It was
Yeah.
like a place people would dance and play around with their cloud.
Nice. Do you have any videos of that? Like, give it.
Such things are not recorded.
Yeah.
Recorded, but I didn't share it.
Okay. Cool.
But yeah, this was very Minority Report. Like,
Minority Report. Oh my God. Yeah, half the people won't know the movie.
oh,
So.
sorry, I'm that age.
See?
I don't know what you're talking about.
See?
Not you, Chetali.
It's not that great.
How many of you online knows about Minority
Oh,
Report?
man.
Say yes if you can.
Yeah.
So for those who haven't, please go watch the movie Minority Report. Not just for
You
the
too,
actors,
actually.
but for the movie.
You have to watch it.
And what is most interesting about the movie is that in the movie, it's about the future. And so a guy is wearing this glove thing, which he uses to predict crimes. But the actual scene, they actually made a real glove that can do those interactions. And this is like at least a decade back.
What?
See, now
I don't
you
know that.
That's an actual tech that was developed and they were using a real thing. So it's not just like a random green screen where they put some random visuals.
No.
Like there's, I think John Undercover or something, that was his name.
It was more than a decade back. I think
Yeah.
it was done partially.
I would like to believe so.
Let me get an
I
answer
was there no decade back. It seemed like
Oh, this seemed like it was a decade back when you were there as
yeah,
realized.
yeah, couple of decades back.
Yeah.
Did he get an Oscar for that?
No, I think the only Oscar that I've heard for a movie for something like this
Technical.
is Tron.
Tron only. For,
Yeah, for Berlin.
Berlin,
Yeah. But
That's
I
the only
think- Like everywhere else, there is like CG might get an award, but it's not like for a specific invention.
innovation.
Maybe like Interstellar or something. I don't know if they got something for their black hole representation.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
crazy. Minority.
All right, big round of applause. Yes. You can unpin me because I'm just showing my weird folk face.
So sorry. I don't know where it is. But
Remove pen on the laptop.
cool. Thank you, Hiral. That was pretty great. I think we'll get to play around with it when the meet is. But sorry, guys.
The dancing video will be recorded now.
Yes, dancing video will be recorded now. And
In the exhibit, I had this little corner which I isolated and it was completely dark, like pitch black. And then there was this thing, and like I had very loud speakers. So
okay,
it was like a
so it was
contest.
nice.
Where is?
There was in my college.
Cool. Nice. Cool. Then let's move on. Beatnik.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. You're up, sir. All right.
Great. Hello.
And
Share.
one second. You're not audible.
Still on the TV.
No, this is not on the TV.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. I need to check
Being
audio.
here.
Say something, Beatnik.
I need to check audio one also from my screen sharing. So basically, am I audible now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
So I don't have anything interactive or anything. I've been working on a small live coding piece, which I wanna probably perform next month sometime. The idea of it is a sleep concert. I'll be performing with tidal cycles throughout the night, and the idea is to see what people dream and what people think of when they listen to sounds and when they listen to music and whatnot. And been working with tidal cycles, which I was just chatting with Satyarth also here. which is challenging one when it comes to making ambient music. So I just made a patch. I want to see if you all can hear the sound first, and I'll run through the patch really quick. And yeah, that's what I'm gonna showcase.
We're learning some titles. Nice. Yeah. Um.
Guys, seeing this.
Wait. Anushka wants more code.
What?
Yeah, Nick, you should tell a bit about who you are.
Yeah.
Because
Oh, who I am?
are not yet your fans because they don't know you.
I don't want fans. I'm Padmanabhan. I'm from Delhi. I work with sound. I'm primarily a sound designer. I use code as a way for live performances and live music. And yeah, I work out of here. I do a bit of events. And yeah, is that enough introduction, or do you need more?
Wait, you have to be a bit louder though, because in the room we are not able to hear you as
At
well.
all? Okay.
No, we can hear you.
Ah,
I don't know if you're just being very humble or you're being very soft. So.
both. I'm a combination of both. Yeah, so I think so far it's good, right? Like I
Yeah.
said, I'm a sound designer. Don't fade out. I'm a
If you
sound designer and I work with code as a way of live performances, and I work on films and all of that as a sound designer and all of that. I am based out of Delhi. I'm from Chennai, and I think I've been a part of CCSanté when 2020 around during the pandemic. When there was nothing happening, CCSanté was one of those soul-giving or purpose-filling meetups. So here I am back after I think like 3-4 years now. And in between, I picked up title cycles. And yeah, I'm working on this small concert series, sleep concert. And yeah, I'm using title cycles as my instrument to whatever to kind of yay for pandemic babies. uh, to create like this overnight performance and see what comes out of it and how to go about it. I have two challenges with this. One is that to create like an ambient track with title cycles. For those who don't know title cycles, it's a full-on pattern-based live coding performance tool. You can create primarily music with it, and can use, and it's very straightforward and direct. It's open source and it uses Haskell and Haskell's language and Super Collider as its audio engine. You can also connect your own instruments, and you can send out MIDI signals also to your DAW if you are into music and all that.
Title.
Yeah. Title cycles, yeah. It's developed by Alex McLean. There are some windows on your screen that is.
So, Beatnik, what might be happening is you have the chat window in the center of your screen,
Yes.
and Zoom does this weird thing where it will not share it, but it will obscure everything behind it.
Okay. It's now any better?
Now it's much better. We see your whole screen. Thanks.
Perfect. Perfect. So yeah, Tidal Cycle is was developed by Alex McLean. He's also part of, or what do you call it, founded Algorave community, which is like a global live coding community, which I and even Anushka and many over here are part of. Yeah, I think I'm done with intro. I'll just quickly check the sound, so that we know if the sound is coming through the Zoom, because I'm a little iffy if this is going to be shared that way. Let's see. Are you guys able to hear the bird sounds coming in?
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect. So, as for this performance, just sleep off. Don't look at the screen, don't do anything. I'll just play some things, and then we can have a chat how it's going. And I'll go through the whatever I'm done here so far. And we can see, yeah, you can ask questions, even though I don't know many answers. Sounds good.
Wonderful.
Okay, I think I'm done. My laptop was going to give up at that point.
Okay, beatnyk, we have too many questions. We won't have. No, no, too quick.
Yeah, too quick only because my laptop was starting to give up. It was starting to glitch, so I had to. Otherwise, it would have just yeah.
Are you going to show us and
Oh
like
yes, sorry.
I was not trying to be rude.
Anushka's having a good FOMO right now.
Just let the questions roll in because I have no answer.
Please, everyone is interested in finding out like what was happening with the code. Someone asked a question here also. Beatnik, like all these sounds do these sounds have any triggers? How are they? Yeah.
Any input or anything that is being derived from, like a bass note or sound.
Sorry?
How are you creating the bass note? Like, how are you defining the codes to that?
So basically what's happening is consider this as an interface, and if I could share, I can't share multiple screens. No? This is Super Collider. This is the audio engine, and this has its own synthesizers, and it has a couple of samples here as well. Like its own inbuilt samples and whatnot. It has its own synthesizer also.
Wait, beatnik, we see a black screen.
Yeah, that black screen on the side, if you see, there is like, you see Super Collider.
It's the coding.
Here you just start the Super Collider so that it connects. I'm not coding in this. I'm using it as an audio engine. This provides all the audios and the sounds and the patterns and whatever. Not patterns, synthesizer itself.
So sample banks and the synthesis. Like there are both.
Both are inbuilt in Super Collider. And you can create your own, synths also in this. You can create your own
like
effects.
Synth engines as well, like FM synthesis, everything.
Yeah. You have everything in this, and you can create on top of it your own sounds, your own way, like your own effect track, and your own. You can load up your own samples if you want. Right now, I'm not doing that because my first.
But birds supposed to be
a sample.
A sample, right?
Birds are a sample.
Okay.
Birds.
Oh,
Birds
it's
3.
already there. It's an existing plant.
No, is this like the default sample bank, or did you
This
have
is their default sample bank.
Yeah, I don't even know that there. Birds is a default sample. Nice.
Birds is a sample, yeah. I mean, we have a couple. There's also a battles sample bank. There's a battle over here.
Oh.
And you have a bunch of other sounds also. You have some kick drums, you have some drum machine patterns, you have the 808s, the full kit, 909, not the full kit, just one drum, I suppose. And then aim breaks you have. Birds are synthesized by the CIA for sure.
Yes, aim break. So,
anyways,
sounds are in this. How are we coding?
So what's happening is when I put superdirt.start, it's basically telling me that Super Collider is now ready to listen to whatever you're using to code in and take the sounds from Super Collider. And it lists that these are the samples that you have. And by default, Super Collider also has some basic sine waves, sawtooth, and all those basic waveforms, and an FM synthesizer, and also a couple of other synth sounds that you can bring in. So when I go back to this, I'm using Pulsar as an a text editor on which I'm coding, and it's basically sending signals to Super Collider. It's patching to Super Collider and sending commands to Super Collider saying I need these sounds and I need it to be played in these patterns and whatever. And these commands you see here are also title specific, but Super Collider can also understand based on its communication. My brain is moving. So what I'm doing is I'm of course taking the sample of birds to start with, and from there the idea of this is that I made an earlier piece some time back wherein I was thinking of the transition of sounds through evolution, wherein the early sounds of the planet were basically sounds of oceans and sounds of winds and all of that before even trees or anything of that came in. So the next sound that I was thinking was in those aspects when I was trying to synthesize those sounds or at least create them from scratch. So Noise is a synth. It's a noise synth by Super Collider, and I'm using certain frequencies that I'm calling on, and then I'm shaping the sounds. So ATT is the attack sound, basically the slowest or the wavy effect that you're listening to. So when I just played this, you'll hear those some kind of beach waves of sorts. This noise. Are you able to hear that? Some kind of like a distant wave.
So you're just making this with FM synthesis.
This is not FM. This is a noise synth.
There's a noise thing.
This is a noise
What is
synth, and I'm
Super
just
FM, man?
sorry.
Super FM.
Super FM, I have commented it off.
Oh,
So basically the idea is, yeah, exactly. If you want to play online, you can use
Topmost.
Satya has done something really cool with tidal cycles and Bitwig. He made like a cyborg tabla performance that played with us last year. It was pretty cool. So Super FM, I have commented it off. So the idea is to have it overnight. So I'll be playing one sound after the other, and I'll be patching things through, and hopefully not let my laptop crash. And here I've used, this is one sound that I have synthesized and I've designed it in some sense to create this waveform. And here I've used Super FM and a Super Comparator, which is another noise synth. Super FM is the FM synth. I haven't used FM synthesis too much over here, but when I got this, you get this droning sound that's coming in. This way I kind of built it up. And this bass sound that you guys were asking, it is again a Super FM only. And I have just asked it to play a frequency of 55 Hertz, which is why it is very sub heavy. And I can change the bass value or the frequency value whichever I want. And just with this. You just hear the bass sound right now. So yeah. And then here I'm playing with the piano again. Piano and the Super FM. So whatever that has super before it is mostly a synthesizer of Super Collider, and whatever that doesn't have super before it is mostly a sample from Super Collider for easy understanding.
nice.
Beatnik, for like complete music noobs, can you tell us a good place to maybe start and maybe do some very basic music generation? Not like audio generation, but music generation
With code or
with code.
there are, like it was shared in the group, if you're interested, there is strudel.cc, which is another tidal cycles based programming, but web browser based one, which is very simple and straightforward. And then there is Estuary. Then recently was introduced to flock.cc. Over here.
Yes, please give us in the chat.
Sorry. Estuary. Flock.cc.
Estuary is very. I think Anushka, you use Estuary, and last time when we did that.
Yeah,
Deepnik, I have a question. Is Tidal also multi-threaded like Sonic Pi?
yeah. That
Okay.
is pretty much. Sonic Pi is very straightforward, I would say. It's easy to learn Sonic Pi. I started with Sonic Pi. And Tidal Cycle is very pattern based, and it has a very, it's also pretty easy, but once you get the, what do you call, hang of it in some sense, it's very pattern
Very
based.
easy once you know everything that you have.
Yeah, pretty much, I guess. And then what? There is also this other program called Mercury, which I also find really easy, I think. I haven't gotten deeper into it, I was just checking it around. And then I saw one question on the chat, the difference between a synth and a sample. A synth is something, let me see this. A sample is something that you record in some sense. A synth is something that you can create different sounds by manipulating the values of each factory. Like if you like with a synth, you'll have different waveforms, like the sine wave, sawtooth wave, square wave, and then on top of it you have some filters, low pass, high pass, whatever filters you have, and then you have the attack, decay, the envelope. So based on that you can pretty much create any sound that you want or that you're listening to. Like for example, this wave sound, I could have easily went to a beach and recorded a wave sound and have can put that in also, but I didn't find fun in that. So with a synth, you can create that wave sound by just manipulating the values in some sense. Have you thought about how to automate things so that you can sleep better? I don't think I'm gonna sleep because I'll be taking care of not crashing my laptop also. But yeah, automating sound is one thing where I'm thinking of, you know, creating some new patterns and new textures that I don't wanna keep thinking of, or keep coding throughout the night. So I can take some breaks at least. So that is also something that I'm thinking of or working through.
Um, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Um, I think it would be cool to take some input, uh, modulating chaotic signals like
huh,
generated by something else, so that you have not just like sine waves of a particular frequency modulating things, but like chaotic signals might be cool with the ambient, like really slow moving chaotic signals that you can generate in VCV rack or something and feed to Tidal. That might
yeah,
make things a bit easier for you.
yeah, that might. Again, coming back, my greatest struggle with this is that my laptop shouldn't crash. If I have multiple programs running, I don't know what will happen. So if I can crack that part right, then I'm down to kind of play around with VCV rack and looping it in and all that. But right now I'm just keeping it or trying to keep it very simple and straightforward. With, just idle cycles and playing around with that. I want to try and see if I can use some external, like another instrument or something else, so that I can give some rest to my laptop. But it's still a work in progress. It's still developing at this point.
Cool. Cool.
Anybody else has questions?
I actually have a follow-up question.
Yes, sir.
Like, what do you mean by chaotic signals? Because noise is already chaotic, you know.
Uh, Noise is chaotic, but I meant like a chaotic LFO. So noise is like pretty
But it
fast.
is still, even if it is an LFO, like it should follow a waveform. And it will probably be more like a Berlin wave than a noise,
Yeah,
which will be like, I'm not sure.
sure. Like slow Berlin noise wave, that's one dimensional. That's kind of exactly what I mean, where you can like tweak the time period and like energy or something. So it's moving around, but in a kind of unpredictable pattern slowly. Yeah.
Get back to you. Cool, beatnik, awesome. Um,
Thank you.
all right, thank you, beatnik. That was the three of our talkers today.
Should we do a selfie?
we can do a selfie. First, we do a selfie, and whoever's interested, Tanvi has handcrafted a hexagonal, handcrafted a hexagonal code grid. I mean, hexagonal grid on P5, and we can play around with that and make some patterns. But before that, can we do a screenshot, people? Yeah. If you can turn on your cameras, we'll stand here and show me that. Yes. Okay, let's go. Cheese. Okay, done.
Done. What?
Oh, Sangeeta, we missed you. Wait, hold up.
My camera was just not switching on.
Okay. Okay, again. 1, 3, 2, 1, cheese. No.
What?
It happened now. Yes.
Happened, right?
Yes.
We shall find out very soon.
Okay. Fun, fun. All right. Tanya, are you putting the link?
Yeah, let me share. So, I'm going to share two links. One is the hexagon.
Can you first share screen and show them? Like, I don't think a lot of people know.
Wait, how many people on the call know P5? Is this in P5?
Yeah.
I don't.
Welcome to
I've heard
P5.
about it.
You heard about it. How come Alvin is not
Beatnik is like not me. What?
yes, yes. Are you sharing screen?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Okay. So,
We won't be able to hear you if you speak from.
I have a couple pieces of code that are super simple.
Should come here then. So you won't hear you from that. Like.
Am I audible for? Yes. There's no audible.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so couple simple pieces of code. So this one, let me see. Yeah. So this is a 10 print on a hexagonal grid. I'm just going to share the piece of code here. So it's really straightforward. If you want to make any changes, just make changes in this function which says draw pattern.
What is a temperate?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I should go to that. Wait, let me put this in chat a second. Yeah.
Because not many people attended your talk.
Okay, so this piece of code, if you look at it, it's just a pattern, right? A very simple pattern, lots of lines going through. And it's essentially squares on a grid. And each square has either 5 lines going in the right diagonal side or the left diagonal side. And that's decided randomly.
Okay.
Right? So,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So, this is a square-based grid. I'm just going to go through the code real quick. So grid X is essentially the size of the entire grid. X here refers to the size of each square size. So you can tamper with these two numbers to play around with how many squares you see within the grid. You can kind of leave the setup alone. If you know P5, you can kind of play around with this as well. So here you'll see I've chosen using this simple function here, if random greater than 0.5. So essentially 50% of the time it'll either draw left or draw right. These are the functions here. So it after this translate part of the line, right? Like this is essentially it, like 5 lines, 5 lines, right?
Some calculation.
That's about it. No, so it's you're on the top left corner.
Yeah.
Right, and from there you can calculate. So, and it's a line. So x1, y1, x2, y2. Right. So this is for the square grid. We also have a hexagonal grid. So hexagonal grid, let me also draw the hexagon so it's visible here.
Yes, you can see the hexagons. So here you can draw with a 30% chance, right? Because you have 3 diagonals that are possible in a hexagon. And your center point inside this function is going to be the center of the hexagon itself. Your values H and V. So H is the like the side of a hexagon, and your V is like half of the entire height of the hexagon. So like from the center point to the top or the bottom of your hexagon. Does that make sense?
H also defined it.
With some trigonometry.
Yeah.
H would not be the same as that.
No, not the
because H-
same, but they're not independent. There would be a
Yeah. That calculation is done up top here. So it's a √3. So you don't need to worry about that basically. Yeah, it's a √3/2 of the side. That.
Yeah, this is the side of.
So yeah, basically I try to write it in a way so you don't have to deal with that and just do like H and V and manage. Does that make sense? Yeah, so
Yeah, we just need to do this in the lines, right?
Yeah,
We
yeah.
can do circle also if you want.
yeah, so some samples of stuff you can do with this.
Oh, that's how this will be. Explain.
So remember how in this one I drew 5 straight lines, right, in a square grid? Yeah. In this one here, what I've done is I've drawn curves instead of lines around 3 corners. So little more complicated. I would recommend
Can you draw that
starting
hexagon
here.
on this?
No, I've written that code already. I have. Okay, great. It's not going to look very pretty. I apologize in advance. Let's see. Let me see. Yeah, can you see the hexagons?
Oh.
So you choose either one set of 3 like alternating points, vertices, or the other.
That's
And
too good.
because you're drawing these arches, that essentially one is right through the middle, one is 1/4 and 3/4 through the.
How does it not break?
That's the.
Dude, that's insane. And you didn't code that, right?
No, you don't have to do that.
Dude, that's so good.
So it's very straightforward, and you can see very, very few lines of code, and you can make something pretty cool. So if you want to even play around with this also, you can play around with the sizes of this. I'll share this as well. And
Yes, guys, let's.
like I've seen people do stuff like, they'll draw in the center of the
Okay, you can
hexagon
use one of
and then
those,
like draw lines. And then those lines end up connecting in like funky ways. So pretty cool.
I still haven't been able to wrap my head around what is happening.
Yeah,
It's very, very.
This not breaking is insane.
Yeah, I'm just like.
How? So it's not breaking because you're connecting you're connecting every single midpoint.
Oh, it's
Of
all
every
this. It's
all
all this.
edges, midpoints are always connected, right? Even within this, even though you're drawing only for these vertexes, like this one, it's connecting through every line.
So yeah,
So if it connects through every line, then it will always create a.
it'll never break. Pretty nice.
I've seen some code very similar to this, written by this professor Devi Parekh. I don't know if people know her. But she has actually written code just like this, but she's written code in a way that you can actually figure out. So for example, you can see this pattern, right? This one right here. So this is like creating a sector essentially. So it's written code to identify that sector, color that in differently. It's a very complex code which I'm still figuring out, but like you can do it, but like
So it'll color different.
yeah,
That section.
yeah, that's very complicated. So you'd have to keep track of neighbors. That's like really complex algorithms, but yeah.
Signal neighbors.
Yeah. But it's pretty cool.
Nice. Okay. Cool. Everyone on chat.
Folks can use my system to like check things out if you're interested. I don't know how many laptops we have here.
Yeah, we can use
If
this.
has everyone used P5 or no?
No.
Right.
Okay. It's fine. We can help you through.
Yeah.
Rasek, yeah, you can take one partner. Charge you don't have?
14%.
Okay, it's just like 20 minutes. You also didn't bring your laptop. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yes. Yeah, even he can start.